Yo, what is good, y'all? This is your boy, We're Too Humble here, and I am back with another video. And welcome back to the No Fear Zone Gaming channel. I know, y'all been wondering what I've been at for the past 2 weeks. First, I had a sickness, had an infection, especially my sinuses, and I also had family over as well, so I wanted to spend time with them, while, they were here. But since they're gone now, and since I'm feeling better, it definitely felt right to do some content. So, why are we here? What are we talking about? So, we're talking about Ubisoft confirms that the main protagonist, one of them actually, is Yasuke. It's funny because I thought it was Yasuke, but Yasuke is what I'm hearing mostly. But basically, he is the first black samurai. Okay, I'm going to be blunt with this, right? This is completely ridiculous, man. Like, this is ridiculous. Meaning, I understand what they're trying to do as far as, put in someone who's black. Mind you, I'm all about black excellence. I really am. I'm all about the ones who sit up here, who are conservative, who are knowledgeable, who have logic, right? I'm absolutely for that, okay? But when you have something like this that's in the background here, right? When you have something that's like this in the background, especially, out of nowhere, right? Because that's what Ubisoft did. They came out of nowhere and released Assassin's Creed Shadows. If I remember correctly, I thought it was supposed to be called Codename Red. If I remember correctly, that's what it's supposed to be called originally. But I guess they just changed their minds and went with I don't know. They went with Shadows. So I'm guessing they ran out of names to, name their next Assassin's Creed game, which is expected because it seems like anything and everything is being done at the last second. And I think that's happened way more than I can, open and close my eyes, right? But for what I'm hearing is that they are basically saying that Yasuke or Yasuke, right? He was never a black samurai. He was never a black samurai at all. He was never a samurai. Basically, they're saying that this is fiction. Because if you actually look at the actual history, he was never like that. He was always the one who would, carry the swords, beat him in one, looking, from the sidelines. Really was never a fighter, really. But they made him into a samurai in this game. But it's not just that. I remember a long time ago, they have actually, how can I say this? They made a TV show about this character. And yes, and even in the TV show, they made him a samurai, right? A very skilled one at that. But it never resurfaced or never came back to the light as far as, okay, so why isn't nobody talking about this anymore? What happened to him? So my thought on that is, well, maybe it's because it's not true. And if we are talking about different cultures as far as, white, black, Japanese, Chinese, all that stuff, all different ethnicities, right? When you mess with things like this, especially, Japanese culture, it's kind of like it's insulting to them when you mess with characters like this, who are like real people from a long time ago, before we even existed, before there was even internet, all that things, all those nice things, right? You're basically messing with history. And when you mess with history and you're trying to come up with something because you think that it was the right thing to do, look at all these other people. They're gonna think completely different over you. And I think that's the problem that we're having when it comes to making video games nowadays, because it seems like people sit here and make their own, games. Obviously you don't make your own game, but they make up their own storyline for the game, knowing that what you're doing is you're messing with something that you just don't understand. Like, this is completely outside of, people's realm if you don't even notice. Like, this is completely outside of people's realm. Have I heard it? This name? Yes, absolutely. But I wouldn't go as far as to say that I know everything about Yasuke. Like, I don't. I'll be sitting up here telling you a lie if I did. But at the same time, I absolutely know for sure that I have seen this name many times in video games, especially different games, and in TV shows, and probably a movie. I ain't gonna lie to you. For what I've seen from him, he looks absolutely badass. But, understanding, fantasy versus reality, he is not a samurai at all. He's not a samurai. And, there's something wrong with it. You get what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. There's something wrong with, not being what people are trying to tell you from the outside looking in. But we gotta be real about this. We gotta keep it 100. You're telling lies to people, man. You're telling lies to people, and you doing this, right, makes it even worse, because now you're making it a race thing. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't like things like that. Like, me personally, I hate when you make it a race thing. Like that's just something that it's just like, oh, here we go again. And now I gotta sit here and completely have a different thought process behind it. Like I said, I'm absolutely for Black excellence. I'm absolutely for that. Whether you are a male, female, I'm all for it. But when you tell lies to people that my man's Yasuke was a samurai, no, he wasn't. And mind you, would I love that? Yeah, absolutely, but it's not done right. That's basically what I'm saying. It's not done right. It's not done right. It could have been anybody else. It could have been anybody. It could have anybody could have been the male protagonist, or one of the protagonists be, whoever. It could have been anybody, but you had to pick someone who, first of all, wasn't even a samurai. So you basically shot yourself in the foot doing this. And you did. You did. So it's not like we can sit up here and pretend that it didn't just happen, because it did. So by the looks of it, there's a ton of people who absolutely do not agree with their decision as far as Ubisoft putting Yasuke in the game. If you don't believe me, let's check the comments, right? So far, said that he wasn't a samurai, some random Republican from some reason. Like, just look. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, this is another picture of him. Looks absolutely great. See? He wasn't really a samurai. He was a samurai's retainer who allegedly used a katana once or twice and was most likely made fun of. So, just this alone, you have mixed, views on this. Like I said, I'm absolutely all for, black excellence. But I just don't like it when you do it and it doesn't feel right. Like anybody could have done this role, right? Any character. If we're naming characters, anybody could have done this for sure. Okay, so somebody says Oda died. What? I suppose we move on to the fight another day. Wait, no. Bushido, what's that? What? Hell no. Oh, hell no. I mean, I'm just a sword bearer. You all have fun with that. Was it Bushido nonsense? Oh my gosh! And he looks like Harvey, but obviously you get what I'm saying with this, right? It's like we just don't know what we want in our games anymore. We're just putting things together and it's not going by history. Especially if we are talking about different cultures and stuff like that. I understand you're trying to make things up, but making things up is going to be worse because you're messing with what actually happened. You're trying to tell a story that didn't happen. And that's a red flag, man. That's a red flag on its own. What do you guys think down in the comment section below? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think it's pretty awesome? Do you think it's not? Y'all just let me know. But if you did enjoy the video, make sure you like. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you do have your post notifications on whenever I put out a video. And if you do me a solid, share with a friend. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I said, I do understand what they're trying to go for. But when it does come to the culture, people doing years and years of homework on these people, they're going to tell you the truth on what really happened versus the video game perspective. But without further ado, I am out. Peace.